Bozy Ennis. What's good, Mr. Bozy?
Oh, everything is good, man. How about with you?
Oh, man, I'm chilling, man. All right.
Good.
What was on tap for the day?
Just sparring, getting the sparring in. You know what I mean? With 3 different guys, you know. You put 12 in every time we spar, so
12 in?
12 rounds every time we spar.
How many minutes on the rounds?
4-minute rounds.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's more than 12 rounds. You accumulate.
Conditioning. How important is conditioning in boxing? Is it as important as defense, as important as offense?
All that go together. You know what I mean? All that go together. Conditioning is a factor, man. That you got to be in shape to be able to do what you do in that ring.
How many fights are lost just by conditioning?
Oh, I've seen a lot of fights lost by not being in shape, but winning from the beginning didn't die down in like in the 4th or 5th round. They die down because they're not in great condition.
The reason why I said that is Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and it seemed like that was one of the factors into why Wilder got stopped in the 11th round. What'd you think of the fight?
Well, I thought it was a good fight, like rock'em sock'em robots. But I think that Wilder put on that weight, and I think that weight really slowed him down too. You know what I mean? I don't know if he was messing with the weights or what.
He said he was messing with the weights.
All
He
right,
said he
well,
was benching
you
350.
see, that's why he couldn't do what he was doing. He couldn't do what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? From the beginning, he looked good, but then he started dying down in the early rounds. You know what I mean? The weights will make you real tight. You know what I mean? You want to be elusive. You want to be slick, fast. You know what I mean? And that slowed him down, man. Adding on that extra weight too. I think 238 pounds.
Yeah, that's the highest he's ever been.
And that was no good. He should have kept the weight that he fought at before. You know what I mean? And I think that was the factor in the fight too. You know.
A lot of old school trainers don't use weights; they're completely against them.
Yes.
What about weight training besides a guy getting stiff? What about weight training that makes that and boxing don't go together? Well,
I think what it comes down to, I think they lift too much weight. A lot of them lift for strength. You know what I mean? But if I would tell them, I would mess with light weights. Nothing to bulk you up and make you real stiff. You know what I mean? And, see, once you do that, and when you be lifting the weights like that, you won't be able to jab correctly because you're walking around all bulky and you can't extend your left hand, you know what I mean, or your right hand all the way because you got so much muscle on, you know what I mean. I don't think that's great, you know what I mean. But like I would tell people, because I don't recommend that for none of my fights, to mess with weights, you know what I mean. If you want to mess with weights, a little 5 pounds or little stuff that just to firm you up to keep you toned a little bit, you know what I mean. But putting that heavy weights and all that stuff, I don't think that's no good. That's good for a guy if you a smaller guy and you want to get in there and move a bigger guy around, that like Holyfield used to do. He wasn't a natural heavyweight, but he was messing with them weights that moved them bigger heavyweights around. You know what I mean? That wasn't for no punching power. That don't mean you can punch because you're walking around looking like Hercules.
That's just what I was about to ask you. Does lifting weights increase punching power?
No, it doesn't. No. Punching power is speed. Speed is power. But I mean by that, the punches that you don't see, it's the punches that knock you out. You know what I mean? You can tense your body up for power shots. You know what I mean? If you know they're only throwing, you can tense your body and catch it. But the punch that you don't see, you can't tense up because you don't see it coming. You know what I mean? That's why you want to be elusive, real loose when you fight. You don't want to be all stiff and walking around like the Hulk or some shit, you know what I mean? And you can't display what you want to display when it's time to fight.
Why can't Deontay Wilder beat Tyson Fury?
For one thing, I think Tyson Fury is a bigger guy, and Tyson Fury know how to use that jab. And he's slick to be so big. He kind of slick, you know what I mean? And I don't think Deontay Wilder was going to beat him. I mean, I know, matter of fact, I thought Deontay Wilder was going to do better than that. I thought he was going to do better than that, but I think, like I said, it came with messing with the weights and putting on extra weight. That's what I think that was the problem. You see, Wilder is one of them guys that hit you with one punch and knock you out, and that's what he was relying on. I think he was too much worrying about just knocking him out. And I think played in his head. I think Fury got to his head, man. Was calling him all kinds of names and docile, pussy, calling him all kinds of names. I think that really played effect in his fight, in his fighting game with him.
It seemed like he abandoned the game plan early. It seemed like they had, go to the body, but after like the second round, he just went back to the old Deontay Wilder.
But because once you get hit, you're going to go back to your old style. I don't care what nobody taught you or try to change you, but once you get in trouble, you go back to what you know best. And that's what he tried. But he wasn't, to me, he wasn't in condition enough to do what he normally do because of that weight. I think because of the weight problem. You know what I mean? Because when he was smaller, he was throwing them punches real quick and, moving. He was just throwing punches and just staying right there and getting hit. And he don't know how to catch shots. He don't know how to get out the way of shots. That's something that they should have worked on. Is defense, catching shots, and getting out the way of shots, not pulling straight back. When you got a tall guy like Fury on you with a long reach like that. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's fighting smaller guys coming up. He developed that bad habit,
yes,
and now you're in there with a taller guy with a longer reach who can still touch you with your hand.
That was the problem, man. And like I said, if I was training, I would have worked on defense with him, because he know how to punch, and then I would have showed him how to throw them punches correctly. You know what I mean? He don't use his jab enough. He didn't use his jab enough at all. He started off good to the body with the jab, and all of a sudden he started dying down and relying on one shot. You know what I mean? That's the right hand. You know what I mean? And Richcombe was expecting that.
Yeah.
Fury was expecting that shot. You know what I mean? He got up. You know what I mean? Went down and got up and went down again. I mean, it was one of them guys, one of them type of fights that it was all right. It was an all right fight, man. Everybody said it was a great fight. I think it was kind of sloppy. It was a sloppy fight to me. You know what I mean? It was a good fight, but but sloppy. You know what I mean? I think you could sit down and relax and calm down a little bit and got himself together. It would have been a different fight.
What does Deontay Wilder do from here? He got stopped in 2 back-to-back fights, and he took a lot of punishment.
He did too. He did. I think he should just sit back and reassess himself and see what he's going to do from there. You know what I mean? But what I would tell him to do if I was training, learn how to catch the jab, catch the right hand. You know what I mean? You learn some defense. You know what I mean? Your offense was okay, wasn't good enough.
Is Tyson Fury the best heavyweight in this era?
Well, right now, I agree. I think Tyson Fury is the best right now.
Who wins versus him and Usyk?
Him and Usyk?
Yeah.
I think Tyson Fury beat Usyk. I think he beat Usyk. I mean, it's going to be a little difficult, but I think he'll beat him.
Is that the fight you want next?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, that'll be a good fight to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next, Mr. Bozy.
All right, anytime, man.